The mansion had corridors so long that footsteps echoed like memories, and in one quiet wing of that enormous house lived a little boy named Leo who had never taken a single step in his life, the son of a billionaire whose name ruled boardrooms and headlines but meant nothing to a child who only knew the world from a wheelchair. Doctors had tried everything: surgeries, therapies, experimental treatments flown in from different countries, but every verdict ended the same way, with polite sadness and careful words that crushed hope while pretending to protect it. Leo's legs were thin and unresponsive, his world limited to what he could reach with his hands and imagine with his mind, yet his smile was brighter than the crystal chandeliers above him, and every morning he asked his father the same question in a soft voice: "Papa, do you think I'll walk today?" The millionaire father, Victor Hale, a man who had built an empire from nothing, learned that money could buy silence, comfort, and distraction, but it could not buy miracles, and each time he lied gently, kissed his son's forehead, and turned away so the boy wouldn't see his eyes fill with defeat. The mansion staff came and went, most of them careful, distant, afraid of doing something wrong, until one day a new maid arrived, a quiet woman named Elena with tired eyes and hands rough from years of work, someone nobody noticed because she didn't sparkle like the wealth around her. Elena had lost her own child years ago, a little boy who never got the chance to grow up, and when she first saw Leo sitting by the window watching other children play outside the gates, something in her heart cracked open in a way she hadn't felt in years. Unlike the others, she didn't talk to him like he was fragile glass or a tragedy waiting to happen. She talked to him like a normal child, asking about his favorite stories, laughing at his jokes, and listening when he spoke about dreams where he ran faster than the wind. Slowly, Leo began to wait for Elena more than for his therapists, because with her, he felt seen, not pitied. One rainy afternoon, when the mansion was unusually quiet and Victor was away closing another billion-dollar deal, Elena noticed Leo staring at his reflection in the glass, his small fists clenched, tears rolling down his cheeks without sound. When she asked what was wrong, he whispered that he hated his legs, hated the chair, hated that everyone said, "Maybe someday," instead of "today." Something impossible stirred inside Elena then, not logic or training, but instinct and love born from loss. She remembered her own son's physical therapy sessions, the songs she used to sing, the games she turned into exercises, and without asking permission, without fear of consequences, she knelt in front of Leo and said softly, "Let's try something different, just you and me." She didn't promise walking, she didn't promise miracles, she promised effort, and for the first time, Leo nodded with belief instead of resignation. Day after day, when no one was watching, Elena turned play into purpose. She placed toys just out of reach, encouraged tiny movements, massaged muscles everyone else had given up on, and told stories where heroes stood up after falling 1,000 times. It hurt, it exhausted Leo, and sometimes he cried in frustration, but Elena never let him quit, holding his hands and reminding him that pain was not the enemy, giving up was. Weeks passed, then months, and something began to change, not dramatically, not magically, but quietly, like dawn breaking after a long night. Leo could sit straighter, his legs twitched when he laughed, and once, just once, he felt warmth where there had always been numbness. Elena cried that night alone in the staff room, praying silently for strength, knowing she was risking her job, maybe more, but unable to stop. The day Victor returned early unexpectedly, he froze in the doorway to his son's room, witnessing something he had been told was impossible. Leo standing, trembling, holding onto the bed rail, his legs shaking violently while Elena stood behind him, arms ready to catch him if he fell, whispering encouragement like a sacred chant. Time seemed to stop as Leo took one step, just one, before collapsing into Elena's arms, laughing and crying at the same time, shouting, "Papa!" I stood. Victor dropped to his knees, disbelief crashing into gratitude so powerful it hurt, and in that moment, the billionaire realized that the greatest miracle in his life had come not from money, but from a maid whose heart was richer than his entire fortune. Doctors were called again, stunned by progress they couldn't explain, and therapies resumed with renewed hope, but Victor knew the truth, that Elena had done what science alone could not by refusing to accept a limit placed on love. Over time, Leo learned to walk short distances, then longer ones, each step of victory carved from determination and care, and every step forward erased a piece of the darkness that had once lived in that mansion. Victor offered Elena money beyond imagination, a life of luxury, anything she wanted, but she only asked to stay, to keep helping Leo, to feel useful in a world that had once taken everything from her. The story spread quietly at first, then beyond the walls, inspiring countless families who had been told never, reminding them that sometimes the impossible only waits for someone brave enough to try. And as you listen to Leo's journey, remember this: miracles don't always arrive in white coats or expensive solutions. Sometimes they come wearing simple uniforms, carrying patience, love, and unbreakable faith. If this story touched your heart, if you believe hope can rise even in the darkest moments, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because every story here is a reminder that kindness can change lives, love can rewrite destiny, and the impossible is only impossible until someone dares to try.